This game that we love is a very unique one for various reasons. One of the reasons why we love it so much and find it different from the rest is the sort of reactions and feelings it evokes from its millions of fans. For instance, a player might be really good, but purely based on his weekly performances, opinion of his ability is always divided. While one section of the fans is always rooting for him, convinced that he's that good, the other section is not so easy to win over. Many fans will seal the player's fate based on one good or bad performance. Manchester United striker Anthony Martial perfectly fits the bill for such a player. The France international is definitely quite a talent, and when we talk about players making dream moves, Martial earned his move to Old Trafford. The striker was scoring goals and putting in accomplished displays when the Red Devils paid AS Monaco a handsome amount for his services. When he arrived at United, Louis van Gaal was the club's manager. The Dutchman really believed in Martial's qualities and was confident that the youngster would go on to become a player similar to France and Arsenal legend Thierry Henry. And this was very much true based on the Frenchman's start to life in the Premier League. An amazing goal against Liverpool was followed by some truly sensational moments of individual brilliance. Martial scored prolifically during his first season at Old Trafford, and fans were convinced that they'd found themselves a truly great player to root for. Sadly though, events transpired that would push Martial to a rather dark place in his playing career. Van Gaal was eventually fired as the club's manager, and the Dutchman was replaced by Jose Mourinho. The Portuguese tactician had a rather different way of doing things, and it became clear that Martial was going to struggle to replicate his debut season form for the Red Devils. Before the Mourinho era began on the field, many predicted that the Special One's arrival would not bode too well for the Frenchman. Mourinho expects a certain level of commitment and work rate from his players, and if we look at Martial as a person and as an athlete, he isn't one of those players who'll run all over the field and chase lost causes. Want to know how we never miss a match? With Fubo TV, you can stream any game, anytime, anywhere. Use our link in the description to start for free and watch your favourite teams live. Martial was given limited minutes under Mourinho and also struggled with injuries. Every time he did get chances, he was unable to impress his highly demanding manager. Things had gotten to the point that during a press conference, Mourinho refused to answer a question about Martial's return to training and instead asked the club's press officer to respond. His relationship with Mourinho had definitely gone sour, and the France international was on the verge of leaving Old Trafford. During that time, the club was still struggling to find its identity, and Mourinho was pretty much on a warpath with Paul Pogba. Martial, on the other hand, suffered a lot due to the stifling nature of Mourinho's game plans. Eventually, a lack of first-team minutes saw him lose his place in the France team that won the World Cup in 2018. Missing out on what would have been the greatest moment of his playing career had a visible impact on Martial, who seriously considered leaving the club. According to rumours, Mourinho had no issue letting the Frenchman leave, but it was the much maligned Ed Woodward who stopped the youngster from leaving. It was clear that the club's ownership never lost faith in Martial's prodigious talents. Lucky for him, Mourinho was sacked after United's defeat to bitter rivals Liverpool. The former Chelsea man was replaced by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and things took a different turn altogether once the Norwegian came in. While many people still aren't convinced of Solskjaer's managerial capabilities, it's clear that the former striker is a great man manager and allows his players the creative freedom to play to their strengths. Solskjaer put all his faith in the players he had. The likes of Paul Pogba, Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial were given loads of responsibility, which showcased Solskjaer's trust in them, and they didn't disappoint. Martial's change in position and the overall atmosphere in the dressing room resulted in the Frenchman finding the net 17 times in the league. Moreover, the arrival of Bruno Fernandes further aided the cause, and Martial would continue putting in solid displays on a regular basis. Last season, Martial played the highest minutes in the league ever since he moved to Old Trafford. That came despite the fact that he ended up missing roughly 56 days of playing time due to a hamstring injury he suffered early on in the campaign. Since coming back from that injury, Martial has not looked back and is now an important member of the starting 11. While at the beginning of his United career, Martial had become a left-sided forward due to his ability to cut inside and then cause problems, the France international is now trusted with the number 9 role that has been quite a problem for the club ever since they sold Romelu Lukaku to Inter Milan last summer. Selling the big Belgian was initially considered a mistake, but Solskjaer was seemingly happy with the striking options he had. Last season, Solskjaer discussed the friendly rivalry between Rashford and Martial. and reserve goalkeeper Lee Grant has admitted that the club's manager has encouraged this rivalry and likes to see Martial getting better as a finisher. "We have a nice little battle actually," Grant told United's website. "I'm always on at him in training, always digging at him in training to try and do better. I'll always try to get the upper hand whenever he's shooting, and if we're doing drills, and it might be really normal, we might be running a phase and passively shooting into the goal. The phase finishes in the middle third, and the shot is not really full tempo. If Anthony shoots and I save it, I go, 1-0 Anto. Then he'll get this glint in his eye, and the next one, it won't matter if the gaffer says don't worry about the shot in the end. He'll come through and want to shoot in a one-on-one." It was definitely not surprising to see Martial win United's Players Player of the Year award for the 2019-20 season. Granted that Bruno Fernandes's arrival played a big role in guiding the club to a third-place finish in the league, Martial's drastic improvement in form was something that no one was expecting. In all competitions last season, the 24-year-old managed to score 23 goals and was the club's highest scorer. Back when Mourinho was in charge, Martial and Rashford were competing for a place in the starting 11. It was kind of natural given that both are predominantly left-sided forwards. However, it would definitely be a shame to see these two competing for a place given their obvious talents. Solskjaer might not be the most astute tactician out there, and the jury is definitely out on him, but the Norwegian has gotten one thing right. Both men have contrasting playing styles. While Marcus Rashford relies on pure pace and power, Martial is the one who has close control, which allows him to dribble at great speeds. The moment he became the club's manager, the former striker made sure to find a way where both players' talents were used. Martial always preferred playing as a striker. Mourinho never really saw him as a number 9, but Ola took a gamble and it has seemingly paid off. Martial is an all-action forward and is great at linking up with the midfielders. He's already developed a great partnership with Pogba and Fernandes. Moreover, his passing and dribbling ability helps the team progress the ball deep into enemy territory very quickly. Martial is a very intelligent forward and understands the role he has to play in the final third. Rashford has started playing down the left wing now, but the fact that both men are now comfortable both centrally and out wide means that they can interchange throughout the game. This helps Martial since he does like to drift wide in order to receive the ball. While Rashford is really good at progressing from the deeper areas of the pitch, Martial is excellent at running behind the line. Both men have a great connection in the final third and their movements are equally complementary to one another. There is definitely something different about Martial now. The youngster looks much more confident and very focused. If you look closely, you might even find him smiling. Martial is carrying the look of a player who's trying to make up for lost time. Under Mourinho, it looked as if he'd completely forgotten his way to goal. Under Solskjaer though, Martial looks to have rediscovered all his best traits and more. He's now a more rounded athlete, is much more sharp, and you'll rarely see him sulking on the pitch. When he's on top of things, Martial is a joy to watch. His great speed, clever movement, and ability to take on defenders and do some truly outrageous things make him one of the most exciting players in the Premier League. Although there are definitely quite a few things that he needs to work on, Martial would do well to have more support around him. Manchester United have struggled since the start of the new campaign, and the fact that the Red Devils have been unable to bring in Jadon Sancho shows that the club is far from becoming a genuine title contender. The arrival of another creative player would aid Martial and the rest of his teammates a lot. Currently, the Frenchman is doing his best, but at the end of the day, don't you think that a forward needs the right circumstances to thrive? The 2020-21 campaign has started, and as things stand, Martial is yet to find the net. United have struggled quite a bit in the opening 2 games of the Premier League season. While no one really bothers if a striker has not scored in the first 2 games of a season, it can be rather concerning if the run is a continuation of the previous campaign. Martial has only found the net once in the last 7 games he's played for the club. During this barren spell, the Frenchman has played against West Ham, Leicester City, Copenhagen and Sevilla. However, despite not being able to find the back of the net, the former Monaco man has made key contributions in each of these games by either providing an assist or winning a penalty.